Brentford 0, Chelsea 0. We're outside the G-Tech Community Stadium. What a nice name that is. I'm here with Lewis. Thoughts on the game today, mate?
Second game without Reece James. Again, it kind of showed because we were very slow, lacked a lot of creativity. And overall, it was poor from a lot of players. We knew the Villa performance wasn't great, but we got by off the back of, I did want to say, but I didn't want to highlight too much, individual mistakes in the Villa game, which was the difference between us and them in the last match. Yeah. We didn't get that same gratitude in this sort of game, and because that there was nothing, absolutely nothing. It's yet another game where I'm thinking we're saved by Kepa. And big ups to Kepa, because again, I've been saying for so long I want to see him get tested, and he has saved us in 2 games in a row now. We've criticised him a lot over the last 2-3 years, give him all the praise he deserves, because that would have been 2 L's on the bounce if it weren't for him. Brilliant performance, man of the match, whatever you want to give him. Other than that, Trevor Chalobah was good. Koulibaly was okay in phases. I mean,
I do want to just highlight Koulibaly and Chalobah. I mean, I felt like Chalobah actually bailed him out a couple of times. He was having to cover for Koulibaly. I mean, Tony was all over him. I don't know. He's probably never played against a team like Brentford. They are unique, but what are your thoughts on his performance? And going into the next few games, do you feel confident having Koulibaly at the back?
Yeah. I'm not really too worried about Koulibaly, but I agree with what you said as well. I think Chalobah was a much better defender out of the pair of them. His lack of agility and ability to turn kind of got exposed a little bit in today's game, but it didn't really cost us. Yeah. So defensively, I think we did commit bodies forward, and it meant that we were a bit exposed sometimes on the counter, but I do think we handled ourselves well in that regard. The problems are the same problems they always are. The further forward we go up to the pitch, in terms of building up play and making chances, we looked very, very sloppy in possession and very slow in the passing as well. I get we had to rotate, but at the very least, it means that some of these players should not be playing on Saturday. Kai Havertz as a start. I'm the only reason why I'm not getting at Potter for him playing 80 minutes is because it means he doesn't play the Man United game. Yeah. I've been saying for way too long, this guy offers nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just turned over the ball numerous times for about 70, 80 minutes straight. We're lucky we didn't concede in the second half off of him just fucking dilly-dallying on the ball outside their box for no reason. The guy plays football at 0.25 speed, and he's just slow, lethargic. Even the pressing wasn't even good enough. He was barely sticking a leg out, barely even attempting to try and close players down or anything. It was poor. But in terms of the overall team performance, Ruben I thought was very good with his strength, but I thought was also very slow in terms of releasing the ball. And the one thing I'll say with Potter is that the substitutions helped us. I'm not going to get at him over the lineup too much or anything. The only thing that really surprised me was Pulisic not starting, and it was highlighted even more when he came off the bench because he fucking lightened us up. Yeah. And as soon as he came on, he was driving at players, he was taking players on, he was asking questions to defenders, and we looked a little bit more likely to score at that point. That's the only thing I had wrong with the way Potter managed the game. Other than that, I get we have to rotate in these sorts of games. It was not ideal for us, but we have to do it. I get Aubameyang, Sterling, the lights would have liked to see him start, but we couldn't. But at the very least, they came on at the right points, and we nearly looked like sneaking it. We really did, but when you do them too late, I guess, it's like, just give Brentford one role to do, and they just have to sit back, and you know exactly what we're like as soon as we sit back. You can play for another hour, and we're not going to score. It's not really Potter's fault or anything. I think the same players let us down as they usually do, but it's what it is.
What about Broha? He obviously started today, and I think a lot of people were chuffed because he does deserve it. He's come on in previous games. He's made a good impact. Obviously got his first goal at the Bridge not long ago as well. What did you think about his performance?
I think his inexperience showed, really. When he took the ball down and he got time, I thought his turns and his dribbles and driving at players, I thought that was good. When he didn't really have time, though, it was the wrong decision. The ball was bouncing off him at numerous points. Definitely looked a little bit out of sorts, but I don't use that to judge the player or anything. Broja is the one I keep saying I will give time to. This is his first season at Chelsea. He's not been playing at this level before. He's had 1 season in the Premier League at Southampton. I can give him a year to acclimatise and to build up his experience and see how he develops within a year or two. It was just nice to see him start, but overall there just wasn't really much from that attack. Brozier, inexperienced. Havertz was crap. Mount was alright, but like wasn't really that progressive. But no one else was. The biggest worry for me coming out of this game is the midfield, because now Conor Gallagher's come off injured. We had Loftus-Cheek play the full 90. Jorginho's played the full 90. Kovacic has played the majority of the game, and this was meant to be his rest. Yeah. Now I'm thinking, all right, cool. We got 2 games coming up in the next week. We're not getting any other midfielders in. At the very least, it means Chukwuemeka gets more opportunities. But I knew the midfield was going to be a worry this season anyway, and now it's like we are 1 injury away from going straight into a crisis.
No, you're right. You're right. But I do think Chukwuemeka played really well, actually, considering the pressure that's on you carrying that midfield role. He had a couple of shots at goal. He just needs a little bit more time to settle in, similar to Broha.
Yeah. Chukwuemeka came in, brought in some energy. Really unlucky not to score at the end. Like, the ball just fell to him in the perfect place, but I also think it caught him by surprise the same way it caught everyone else. But I thought he was nice, like, did his job when he came on and everything. I think all the subs are very unlucky not to get more out of it, because they all came in and they contributed, and we played better as a result when they were on the pitch. He'll get more opportunities. Hell, maybe we might even see Zakaria get a run. I don't know. But if he weren't going to come off the bench in this sort of game, I don't know when we're going to see him next. But we don't have a lot of options left. He has to get some sort of game time.
What is it that why is he not even making the bench after these games? I'm trying to think, what did the people see in him to bring him in when you've got Tuchel didn't play him, and it's the same with Potter as well?
It was an absolute panic by the board. Just knew that we needed a midfielder, and they just got someone. You remember on deadline day, we went an hour from, I think, us even being leaked to be announced with him, and then he was already doing a medical. So Juve just needed to get rid of him. Yeah. We needed a DM. We brought him in, and he's just been there. It's like he's been on holiday for the season. I don't know if they take him back or not. I do also think it's not done with him or anything. You'll see him get some sort of game time. If it even means you have to wait till Man City in the Cup or something, I think he'll definitely get some sort of role in the squad. He's not just going to sit on the bench all season. But I don't know where...
If he can make the bench.
Yeah, was he on the bench tonight? Do you even know?
I don't know, but he hasn't in previous games.
I can't say nothing about him. I haven't seen him play yet.
Yeah, well, listen, just going into last question, we've got Man United coming up. That's a huge game. For me, they're our biggest rivals in the race for top 4, if that's still what you think, because I think it's the race for top 4. Do you see us coming out of that game on top? What are your thoughts going into that match?
Not if we play like that. Not if we play like that. Does anyone know if United won, by the way? 1-0. Okay, great. That makes it even tougher for us because we've dropped points. Yeah, that game was already important, 4th v 5th. Now it's even more important. The only good thing is that their depth looks like a hot mess. Like most of it looks like youth players on that bench. Maybe we can use that to our advantage because they probably are going to play the same 11, whereas we've been able to rotate a little bit. But I can't shake the fact we always turn into bums against United. Every single time. Like, we didn't even beat Ole in the Premier League. And he's the worst manager that they've had in recent history. So I'm not going to sit here and say like it's done or anything. Like, we obviously can go there and get a result against them, and it would mean a lot in terms of the confidence for the fan base, the players as well, if we were able to turn them over and get a result. But it could go either way. We have not played convincingly enough in our last few games to go into any game with any sort of confidence. It's up to the players to put that in the squad. Into the fan base. Haven't seen that yet. If you can play convincingly and get a result against United, that would do a lot for the confidence of me and probably to a lot of fans as well.
Give me a score prediction. Put you on the spot.
I'm going to go 1-0 Aubameyang. 1-0 Aubameyang.
You heard it first.
Me being optimistic, it could go either way. It really could.